So you know I am a booster of languages, and I am doing everything in my power to keep Jewish languages alive. Now, fortunately, I'm not alone in my quest, and Elizabeth Cohn joins us to shine a light on Ladino. It's the J Report. I'm Brad Pomerantz. I am thrilled you are with us today because you are going to enjoy a beautiful melodic voice sung in a language my guess is you have never heard. Our guest is Elizabeth Cohn. She's actually a longtime family friend. My wife grew up with Elizabeth. I've always known Elizabeth to have a beautiful voice. She sang at my wedding 12 years ago. What I didn't know until recently is that she sings in the language of Ladino. Now, you probably have heard Yiddish, but you may not have heard Ladino. What exactly, Elizabeth, is Ladino? Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
It's my pleasure and my honor.
What is a Ladino?
Okay. Ladino music, or actually the language, we're going to speak about that first, derives from the Sephardic Jews. The Sephardic Jews are descendants of the Iberian Jews, and their language, Judeo-Spanish, came originally from archaic Castilian dialect as well as medieval Spanish from Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand's reign.
Right, because what happened, as we know, when the Spanish Inquisition occurred in 1492, there were several Spanish Jews that fled. They went to the Near East, and they took with them the Spanish of the day.
Exactly.
But they had no more contact with Spain, and so they kept speaking medieval Spanish.
Exactly.
And so in the 20th and 21st century, when you hear people speaking Ladino, they are speaking the Spanish of the 14 and 1500s.
That's true, and because, as you had mentioned, the Jews had been exiled, and
Right.
they ultimately, wherever they ultimately migrated or settled, then various different words from various cultures and countries were then incorporated, such as French,
right.
Italian,
Hebrew,
Turkish,
Arabic, Greek,
yes.
Turkish,
You got the list.
French,
Okay,
and so
yeah.
yes, it brought in, like Yiddish, which was mostly German, brought in Polish or Hebrew or Lithuanian. Ladino brought in the Hebrew and the Arabic and the Greek and the Turkish and the French.
Right.
What's interesting, though, I learned this recently, is that those that lived in the Ottoman Empire, their Ladino was very pure 15th century Spanish, but there were some Sephardic Jews who went to Amsterdam.
That's right.
Or England, or Italy. They had more contact with Castilian Spanish, and so their Spanish was more pure.
Exactly.
But my question is, Elizabeth, how's a nice Jewish girl descending from Eastern European Ashkenaz wind up falling in love with Ladino?
Well, first of all, I have to thank you for the lovely compliment. I strive to be a nice Jewish girl.
There you
by
have
those
it.
traditional Jewish values. So
Exactly.
Thank you for that. And it's just something that I've always felt extremely passionate about. The Ladino music. I love the culture, the language. I'm actually fluent in Spanish.
Independently, we live in Southern California.
Exactly.
You learned
Yes.
Spanish.
I did. And I feel a strong connection to the culture, even though I am an Ashkenazic Jew and
Right.
proud to be one. I think perhaps within my lineage, there has to be some Sephardi.
There could be.
Yes.
So, but honestly though, what was the first moment that you heard Ladino music? Because frankly, I mean, we hear Yiddish music a lot in America. Ladino music, unfortunately, not that much.
Actually, the time that I realized it was such an incredible music and language was when I was pursuing the cantorate.
Right, and I want to ask you about that because you had decided to become a cantor. You have changed your path though, but equally as holy, let's say.
I'm trying.
Tell me what you're doing now.
Make this holy work. You had mentioned the word holy. I have found that I am able to do holy work not just in the synagogue, but also outside the synagogue. And I have fallen in love with children who have special needs. And those children, I am currently helping them privately to prepare for a bar and bat mitzvah, and then I officiate those services. Because I speak fluent Spanish, I'm also hoping to ultimately reach out into the Spanish community, not necessarily within just the Jewish community, but outside the sacred community to help other students and children.
That must be really special for you, but I want to go back to Ladino for a moment and really lament the challenge the language faces. Ladino is all but dead. I mean, I hope that we can keep it alive.
Here I am.
Right, exactly.
Trying to do that.
Right, maybe 200,000 people speak it in Israel, some in America. Even in Central and South America, there are some communities that speak Ladino. They don't even know it. That's
true.
a whole other conversation. But maybe through music, we can keep Ladino alive, through people like Elizabeth Cohn and others. So talk to me about what you're doing to keep Ladino music alive.
Well, first of all, I'm here. I appreciate the
Yes.
invitation, and I am continuing to record and do private events with my amazing pianist Diane Lindsay, who is actually playing for me today. In addition to that, continuing to record and put together an album.
Elizabeth, I cannot wait to hear that album. What's
you.
exciting is you will sing 2 of the songs today that hopefully will be on that album. We are actually going to take you into our recording booth. You have graced us with singing 2 songs for us in our own voiceover recording booth. So let's take a walk down to the JLTV recording booth. My name is Brad Palmer. So we'll be right back on the J Report.